Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. This video is going to be about some communication options that might be a great fit for you. If you saw in the thumbnail already, this is going to be looking at the RT29 from Retevis. They did send me 2 of these units to review. I reached out to them because I'm very interested in these units. I think that they're going to be a great fit for some of you folks out there. Links will be down in the description down below. If you want to click to see them on Amazon, I do get a little small commission out of that, but it doesn't cost you anything at all. If you want to just find them on your own or donate to a charity by using Amazon Smile, feel free to do that, of course. So the Retevis RT29, what is it? It is not a cheap push-to-talk radio that you get from Walmart or something like that. And it is not just a more expensive version of that. These things are a little bit more pricey, but they come jam-packed with a whole lot of options. It will have one very strong caveat that I don't think they communicate as well as they should out there, that I need to talk to you about before you go around using this thing like crazy. So the first thing that makes this very different from the little cheap handheld transmitters is that this has way more power. This transmits at 10 watts of power, an FRS radio like the ones you get at Walmart, a family radio service. Those things can only transmit at 2 watts. This is 5 times more powerful. Second thing is, compared to GMRS radios, which is one step up, you can get those in Walmart as well, but you do technically need a $70 license to legally use those channels. It's $70, and you can then use it for 10 years. This has twice the power of the highest GMRS radios. They can transmit at 5 watts, which is better than the 2 watts, but this is 10 watts. Second thing that makes this way better is that we could take this thing and drop it in a bucket of water, and it could stay submerged in that bucket of water for 30 minutes, and it would not damage or stop functioning. This is water resistant up to several feet for 30 minutes. That's something that I really like about the radios from Retevis, is that they have some really great waterproof options out there. So if you're running around in the woods with your plate carrier, or if you are out there working on the farm or something like that, and you're worried about it might start raining, I don't have anywhere to put stuff, this radio won't actually be damaged by the rain. I like that a lot. In addition to that, it's got a very sturdy housing to it. This thing is impact resistant from 6-foot drop. So you can put it at the top of your head for most people, unless you are super tall, and you can drop it and it won't be damaged. That is really nice. It's very hard and heavy duty. The next thing is that it comes with a much more powerful battery. This is a 3200 mAh battery, and it is supposed to charge the radio for 24 hours. That's a big deal. That assumes that you're transmitting for 5% of the time and you're receiving 5% of the time, and it's in passive standby for 90% of the time. That will allow it to make it a full 24 hours without a recharge. That's huge. That's huge. As you can see here, these actually come with earpieces. So that is nice, especially if you're tacticaling, or you need your hands free for whatever reason, and you want to be able to hear if someone transmits, or you don't want everyone else to be able to hear if it transmits. So there's that. When you get the package, it's got 16 channels on there. They're already pre-programmed. Your 2 radios will be able to talk to each other. Now, let's get into the big caveat. What is this? If this is not an FRS radio, which doesn't require a license, and it's not a GMRS radio, which does require a license, that's $70, what is it? It's not either of those. It's actually a ham radio. Okay, so this requires a ham radio license to operate unless somebody's life is in danger or property is in danger. That is the technical rules for the operation of this. Now, If the SHTF situation happens and the stuff starts hitting the fan, will your life be in danger? Will other people's lives be in danger? I think a pretty good case could be made for that, maybe. That's not a legal opinion. That's a Steve opinion. Will people's property be in danger? Seems plausible. So if you are planning for SHTF situation, then this might work out. On a purely hypothetical note, and this is absolutely not a recommendation in any sort of way, if you were to get the programming cable and plug it in here, you need the optional programming cable to do some of these things I'm about to discuss. Put it into your computer and then use the software that you can download for free. You can reprogram the channels. Now this transmits and receives on the 400 megahertz up to 480 megahertz, which includes the FRS channels and the GMRS channels, and what this is transmitting on, which are not either of those channels. You can reprogram this to transmit directly onto the FRS channels. Would that be legal to do so? Well, it's legal to do that as long as you don't hit transmit, unless somebody's life is in danger or property is in danger. I will say this, though, that if you were transmitting on the FRS channels or the GMRS channels, would it be very difficult for other people to figure out that you're transmitting at too much power? If you're in the downtown city, they might be able to figure that out. If you're out a ways, it may be a lot more difficult to figure out that you're transmitting at too much power, and there's really no way that they would know that you're using a device that breaks some of those FRS rules, like an antenna that comes off. All right, so if you were to do that, it would be relatively hard for people to figure out what you're doing. You can also program it to drop the transmitting wattage down below the 10 watt transmit power. So if you want to transmit at less power, if you realize that you're mostly just using these radios onside your property and you figure out what the wattage is that you need to actually reach out to the corners of your property, and you don't want to transmit at full 10 watts all the time, because then people can hear and see the signal out there. If you want to be a little more clandestine and you want to transmit at lower power, you can turn these down by using the programming cable. You can also scramble your communications. It is not encrypting your communications, which is illegal to do in the United States. However, what you can do is you can scramble it so that if I'm transmitting in Scramble to another person who has the radio set to the same Scramble, we can communicate to each other and we can hear each other perfectly, but anyone else listening in on that, they won't be able to understand a word we say because it's scrambled. Now, is it super technical for them to unscramble that? No. If they have the tools and the know-how, they can unscramble that relatively easily. However, it is one more nice thing out there if you want to get this to be a little bit more secure. All right, so that's kind of what this thing might be useful for. If you're just prepping for the SHTF situation where everybody's life will be in danger and everybody's property will be in danger, then you can legally use this in any way that will help you save people's lives or protect people's property. These earpieces are actually quite comfortable and nice. I like that. I really love the fact that it's waterproof. All in all, it's super, super simple. If you need something that's just super simple out of the box, go for it. If you need something that can do some more bells and whistles kind of stuff, it does have the programming capability for you to customize this to do some more interesting stuff out there. Finally, if you are looking to get into much more complicated, then this is probably not the radio for you unless you have a specific application for this. Once again, this is the Retevis RT29. I highly recommend it to people who will use it for what I just described. Links are down in the comment section down below, as well as in the description down below. There's a 5-pack out there that'll save you a good bit of money if you buy 5 of them at once. The 2-pack is great, which is what they sent me. And yeah, great for what it is. And I will see you guys later. Steve Poplar out.